Click 98.9 Modern Music. Hi there, it's Megan, and I have a very special visitor here, Zella Day. Welcome.
Hi, thank
How
you for
are
having
you?
me. I'm good. How are you?
I am well, thank
Good.
you. June 2nd, the album Kicker.
Yeah.
I imagine, listen, I've never put out an album before, but I imagine it's kind of all done now, and it's like a hurricane's coming, and you're trying to prepare for the storm, but you really don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah, it kind of is exactly that way. I mean, I think it's really quiet right now, or I mean, it's not too quiet. I'm on tour, but it's just, yeah, that date is when I think everything is going to change in my world. So, yeah, we'll see what happens.
And how are you feeling right now? Are you,
Good,
I mean, is there anything you're
relieved.
afraid of?
No, I'm relieved. I'm so glad that I have a release date and that it's actually going to be released out into the world, because it's just been mine and it's just belonged to me behind the scenes for so long now that it's time. And so I'm ready to get it out. It needs to go. I'm like, it's got to go. I got to like shed that skin. Yeah.
Flipped upside down. So I found out a couple of minutes ago that you have a little dog, Mitzi, and I have a dog, Moxie, that's a multi-poo.
Did you see the picture of Mitzi on my Twitter with a sombrero on? I got Mitzi a sombrero.
I think Mitzi and Moxie would be great friends.
Mitzi and Moxie. Cute.
The Adventures of Mitzi and Moxie.
Yes.
Does she come out on the road with you?
Not yet. Right now we're just in a small Sprinter van. Too small for Mitzi. I don't think the boys would go for that. Like, I'm bringing my stinky poodle friend on tour. Deal with it. So
I always imagine that's
maybe when I have a tour bus.
Yeah. Oh, that's
Mitzi
it.
can have her own little living
She needs
quarters.
her own bunk.
Yeah, she does.
I always imagine that's one of the toughest parts, though, about being an artist and traveling, just knowing how guilty I feel when I leave my dogs for a weekend, you know?
Oh, don't talk about it.
I'm
with
sorry.
Me. It makes me like really sad and emotional. It totally does. I miss her a lot.
Yeah.
That's like my little friend, my little confidant. She's
Yeah.
definitely an emotional stability for me in my life, especially when I come home. She's like the one thing that I can always count on that's going to love me no matter what.
Your little best friend.
Even if I am gone for a whole month.
Yeah.
Not that nobody's watching her for a whole month. She's totally set up. I'm like, I totally neglect her and leave her in the house with the door locked.
You're like,
for a
yeah,
full
I mean,
month.
I call every once in a while, make sure
with
she's
a
not throwing any
bowl full of
parties.
food. Yeah.
So let's talk about, like, growing up. I mean, you're from small town Arizona.
Yeah.
And what was your childhood like? What's your backstory?
Yeah, I'm from a really small town. Started playing music when I was 9. My parents owned a coffee house called More Coffee. That was my first stage because we had open mics on Fridays and live music on Saturdays. And it was the only place in town where there was music. So I kind of was just immersed in that at a young age. So playing just came very naturally, I think, because I was just around it all the time. And you kind of are just, some of your environment when you're a child, at least. And I was just always really musical. My mom's musical. She's a great singer. She was in a jazz standard band when we lived in Pine Top. So I was just around it. And started playing and learned theory when I was 12. So learned, the calculated formulaic side of music and how to write a song and pretty much how to assemble chords and why they were assembled that way. So started writing songs when I was really young, like 12. Wrote a record when I was 13 that I released independently. And then ever since then, I've just been keeping at it.
Yeah, you ever go back and listen to that?
Yeah, I do. I mean, it's not something that I listen to all the time because, I feel like I'm a completely different person now. But it is a really sweet documentation of the time and how old I was. And I think I like that I have that record because I think it's clear to see that I write my own music. I've been writing my own music for a really long time. So there's no secrets there. But yeah, it's kind of my story, I guess.
And what kind of stuff did you write about when you were 12, 13 years old?
It's so funny. There's an interview on YouTube of me in the studio when I was 13, and I quote myself. I said, I haven't been in any gnarly relationships or anything, so I just write about my favorite pair of pants and seagulls.
Hey,
I know,
I don't
it's
imagine
true.
you have many seagulls in Arizona,
No.
but
I wrote a song called Hey Mr. Bird, that's on the record, and I wrote a song called Red Pants, and I say I don't feel groovy until I put my red pants on. Yeah. So just things that 13-year-olds write about,
Sure.
I guess, or that really mattered to me at the time.
And as you started writing Kicker, what was the source
Incentive
of the material?
behind that? Yeah, Well, I moved to LA, first Long Beach, and then now I'm living in LA about 3 years ago. And it was just a very changing time in my life, and I was really inspired, and I was writing a lot of new material as I was going through so much, and different people and relationships and change and heartbreak, even with my family too, because my family was kind of separating at that time too. So it was just a really, really emotional, deeply reflective time for me. And so that's kind of what the sum of the record is about. Coming out to LA and being from Arizona and what that means for me, being kind of a small town girl in a big city now. Mm-hmm. I know that sounds so cliche, but it's true. It was definitely different for me, and it was a transition. So I think this record documents that time in my life.
And you were like 17 at
the
time?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I have a photo of me blowing out candles. It was the day we moved in to our apartment in Long Beach, and I was turning 17.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. I'm 20 now.
I think that's what some people don't realize. When the album comes out on June 2nd, people listen to it and they don't necessarily know that this is 3 years in the making, and that some of these songs are stories that remind you of a certain time in your life. And if there's one song on the album that you want people to know the backstory of and a little bit of the history behind it, which one would it be?
I think that's funny, because I think that's with all new artists, is like, for people that are just listening to the record, they're like, oh, wow, this came out of the blue. Like, who is this person that just started making music? But I've been making music for my whole life. So you're right, it does mean a lot to me. But I would say there isn't one song that really defines the person I am, because they're all little pieces that make up the whole. And I think that each song is kind of, it means something different to me as I'm playing them every night. So I kind of am growing with the meanings. And I'd say my favorite one to play right now live that I want people to listen to is probably High.
Yeah. Which you just played for us a couple of minutes ago, and it's absolutely amazing.
Thank you.
It's so good.
Thank you.
And so what are you most looking forward to coming up this summer? I mean, it's going to be so busy for you. Is there one thing that you're just kind of like, I can't wait for this?
I'm really anticipating festivals. It's going to be really cool. This is the first year that I've played festivals. The first one that we did was Buku Festival in New Orleans. And it was my birthday, and we were in New Orleans. And it was just a really fun time. I think it's like, for a festival, if you're playing them, you have your set. It's like an hour, and then you're like at a music festival for free. So it's like the best thing ever. Yeah.
So you just did South by Southwest. What's the big one that you're playing or looking forward to most coming up?
Well, we're playing Bottle Rock coming
in
up.
Napa.
In Napa.
That's the one I want to go to.
Yeah,
I'm campaigning to go.
That's pretty 5-star. Yeah. I can see why. It's like food and wine and music and sunny California. That's going to be really nice. Yeah. I'm looking forward to Firefly too. Because everybody says that one.
Firefly, that's the sweet tea vodka one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, but
everybody
you're not
says
21,
that one's really good.
I'll drink all enough.
No, you can have all the sweet tea vodka you want.
I'm going to take Debbie Lippitt's Your Hollywood Records rep with me, and we'll consume the alcohol for you.
Please, only if you dance on stage with me.
Oh.
The tambourines. Because my tambourine has been giving me blisters, so I need to commission a tambourine player.
All right, well, Zella Day, the debut album Kicker, is coming out on June 2nd. We are playing High right now on Click 98.9. Thank you so much for stopping by, for playing for us, for hanging out for a few minutes.
Thanks for having me.
And good luck with everything that's getting ready to happen. I'm excited for you.
Thank you. I need it. Need the luck.